Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So I finally received the smallest but extremely powerful, incredibly lightweight iPhone 12 mini 5G in blue color. So let's get started with its full review. As always, everything is time coded for your ease to browse around various topics. If it's your first time on my channel, please consider subscribing as I do regular videos for various smartphones like this one, smartwatch reviews, tech tutorials and much more. You'll find a dedicated playlist for Apple tech videos, be sure to check it out. And if you want, you can support my channel by becoming a member at a small monthly charge with all the perks that I'll offer. Click this join button to check out all the perks of becoming a member. Also check out some cool merch under the store tab and check out as well as subscribe to my second YouTube channel for mobile friendly short video content. Finally, I got my hands on the iPhone 12 mini, which is a tiny phone filled with a lot of surprises, so let's check it out. I will unbox it, show you the quick setup process, talk about its specs, features including the camera, as well as my final say. So let's start with the price. iPhone 12 has 4 models in the lineup with differences justifying the price point. So just take a moment to pause the video and read through the price as well as the differences you get among the various models. Primarily, the iPhone 12 mini is the cheapest phone among the entire lineup. It only costs $979 Canadian dollar for the 64 gig version, and if you read through the differences, you will be surprised to see that there aren't many. You're basically getting the iPhone 12 with a 5.4-inch display and a smaller battery of 2227 mAh. Usually with most of the smartphone manufacturers, the base models are the one with a whole lot of compromises, but that certainly is not the case with iPhone 12 mini. So let's go ahead and do the unboxing. This time around the box is very minimalistic. For perspective, let me compare it with the iPhone SE 2020's box, and you can see it's thin, tiny and lightweight. I doubt if there is a phone inside it when I took the box in my hand for the first time. Let's go ahead and unwrap it. Let's take a moment to look around the box. Let's open it up. I'm always intrigued how smooth and premium the unboxing experience is with Apple. Inside the box you get your iPhone 12 mini. Mine is blue color. This time around Apple really went an extra mile. The screen protective peel sticker is also of paper and not of plastic. I'm telling you guys, just holding this phone in my hand, I literally can't believe that I'm holding a phone. It's that lightweight. It is also remarkably thin. Now, sadly, this time around Apple has only provided the USB Type-C to the Lightning cable. The rationale to this move is to minimize their carbon footprint, but my previous iPhone has a charging brick like this. Not just that, even my other Samsung phone have their chargers with a USB Type-A port. So literally, I can't charge my iPhone 12 mini with any of the charging bricks that I have. Fortunately, this iPhone 12 mini is Qi wireless charging capable, so I can use my Samsung's wireless charger for charging it up. This is really a bummer. Lastly, there is the SIM ejection tool, some miniaturized paperwork, and just one Apple sticker. That is it with the unboxing. Let's peel the white paper sticker from the screen. Well, now let me quickly show you the entire setup process. For this setup process, I'll be importing all the data from my iPhone SE 2020. To be honest, this is the most efficient setup and transfer process ever, 100% better than what I encountered with Samsung phones. On the first boot up of the iPhone 12 mini, you can go ahead and select your language and country. Then bring your previous iPhone close to it and instantly you will get a pop-up on your previous iPhone. Go ahead and click continue and you'll get a unique barcode on your new iPhone which you can scan from your previous iPhone to initiate the transfer process. You'll be asked to set up Face ID, which I will skip, agree some terms and conditions, option to import settings, iMessage and even your Apple Watch, which is really cool. few other prompts, and then you'll get a prompt to update iOS 14.2, which for me almost took about 8 minutes. After the update, your previous phone will transfer all its data to your new phone. You can either erase or factory reset your previous phone from settings, but in my case, I'll just keep it along with my collection of other devices for future comparisons. The entire transfer and update process for me took about 25 minutes. Keep in mind, my previous iPhone had only about 20 gigs of media as well as apps, so if you have a ton of data, it might take a little bit longer. But I am surprised to see that everything is just identical to my previous phone, including layout, apps, settings, etc. This whole process is perfect and super easy as well as wireless. Now let's have a look around at this iPhone 12 mini. There is a Gorilla Glass both on front and back with a ceramic and oleophobic coating on the front glass. The whole phone does feel quite premium. It honestly doesn't feel like you are holding the lowest end model of the iPhone 12. In fact, it feels so lightweight and easy to handle that I will be definitely putting my SIM card in this phone. So on the left hand side, there is the ring silent switch, the volume rocker, and the SIM tray. On the right hand side, there is the power key. At the very bottom, there is the lightning connector with built-in stereo speaker as well as the microphone. I wonder when Apple will introduce the USB Type-C port. There is nothing on the top. Well, as mentioned earlier, the main display is protected by Gorilla Glass with ceramic and oleophobic coating, and there is a notch which houses another built-in stereo speaker, microphone, the Face ID sensor, as well as the 12 megapixel front selfie shooter. This notch is about the same as the one on the iPhone 12, but due to the smaller size, the notch does pop out and look a little bit bigger. Anyways, at the back there are the two rear cameras, both 12 megapixel, one of them is ultra wide, and there is a dual tone LED flashlight. There is the Apple logo at the center, which also has the back tap feature, for which I have done a video on my second YouTube channel. Be sure to check it out. With all that said, let's talk about the specs. Again, feel free to pause the video to read through the detailed spec list of this iPhone 12 mini. This will be just about the same for the iPhone 12 except the display and the battery size. So all these iPhones run on the latest and powerful A14 Bionic chip, which has a 4-core graphical processing unit and hexa-core CPU. There is a 4 GB of RAM, which will be bumped up to 6 gigs on the Pro version. And the non-Pro version starts with the base model of 64 gig versus the Pro model starts with the base model of 128 gig. This iPhone 12 mini has an aluminum body versus the stainless steel body on the Pro model. It has all the bells and whistles like the IP68 water resistance up to 6 meter, Bluetooth 5.0, Wi-Fi 6, GPS, NFC, 5G, stereo speaker, Siri, and Face ID. One thing I definitely miss out from my iPhone SE 2020 is the Touch ID, as the Face ID apparently does not work with the mask, and who wants to touch their mask every single time to unlock the phone? So I am left with no option other than entering the passcode, which I really don't feel quite secure entering it in the public. This time the display is Super Retina HDR10 OLED display, which is a huge improvement from the LCD, as the OLEDs are good for power consumption and has a deeper black. The screen is very bright even in a bright daylight with 1200 nits of brightness. Sadly, Apple haven't introduced the 120Hz refresh rate like I have on my Note 20 Ultra. You can read the camera specs from the spec list, but the camera is definitely redefined. Both front and back camera can film up to 4K at 60 frames per second and 1080 at 240 frames per second for slow motion. It's good to have an ultra-wide camera with 120-degree field of view versus no ultra-wide camera at all on the iPhone SE 2020. Now let's test out the camera and talk about the battery performance and wrap this video up with my final say. So now that you have read through the camera spec list, let's put that into test. Overall, the iPhone 12 mini camera is just identical to the iPhone 12 camera. Now there is an option to switch to the ultra-wide camera, which is cool, and the good part is you can also use the ultra wide in the video mode. You can also get the classic portrait mode, the panoramic mode, the slow motion mode, and the time lapse. Now all this is good, but the real magic happens in the settings. Let's go in the camera settings. Here is where you can see that you can record a video in all these formats, starting from 720p at 30 frames per second all the way up to 4K at 60 frames per second high efficiency. You can also turn on the HDR video, including the Dolby Vision, which is hard to show you on the YouTube video. Now going back, you can also film a slow motion video of 1080p HD at 240 frames per second, which will be a very crisp slow motion shot. Now one thing that sucks of this iPhone 12 mini camera is the lack of a telephoto camera. I really like the periscope zoom camera of the Note 20 Ultra, but with the iPhone 12 mini, anything above 2x zoom starts getting washed out, so I would not prefer to use it. But what really has improved is the night mode. Let me show you some examples. I personally think that the night mode on the iPhone 12 mini is just about close to what my Note 20 Ultra offers. And just look how much details you can get out of this tiny phone. Some of these images are taken in pitch dark, where even my eyes cannot see anything. This is just amazing. Here are some regular images as well as some video samples. Now let's talk about the battery life. The battery on the iPhone is 2227 mAh, which is slightly bigger than the iPhone SE 2020, which only had 1821 mAh, despite of it being bigger in size. Now the one major problem that I had with iPhone SE 2020 is the battery life. It never made through a full day, even though it had the latest A13 Bionic chip. The problem with that phone is the smaller battery size and the LCD display. But with this iPhone 12 mini, despite of it being smaller in size than the iPhone SE 2020, it has slightly bigger battery size and an OLED display, which are obviously better at power consumption, as the black pixels on OLED display are literally turned off, and the energy efficient A14 Bionic chip adds to its blazing fast performance and better power management. With my testing, I almost got about 6 hours of screen on time, which compared to other iPhone is less, but it is definitely more than the iPhone SE 2020. This phone is indeed a tiny phone, which you can see that is even smaller than the iPhone SE 2020. However, it still has a bigger display than the iPhone SE 2020 thanks to the no chin and the forehead design, and it really is lighter than the iPhone SE 2020, so this iPhone 12 mini rightfully deserves the title of the smallest 5G flagship level smartphone. Now let's wrap this video up with my final say. Let's start by answering who is this phone intended for. So if you're someone with small hands and don't really care about media consumption and video playback on the phone, what you really care about is pocketable size, one-handed use without any compromise in power, efficiency, and the flagship level specs with a flagship level camera, then this is the perfect phone for you, and it will save you a few bucks as well. Another group of people would be reviewers like me who has an Apple Watch and use their Android phone as their daily driver, but need an iPhone for review purpose. Then this iPhone 12 mini will better serve your purpose as it does for me. Quite frankly, much better than the iPhone SE 2020. However, if you're someone who spends a lot of time on screen, especially for video or movie playback or do intensive gaming, then this is not the phone for you. You probably should look into getting the Pro models. Another question which is most common is, should you upgrade from your previous iPhone 11? I personally wouldn't, as the iPhone 11 has bigger screen even though it's LCD, longer battery life, and it's cheaper. and you will still get all the updates, unless you want a 5G phone with Dolby Vision HDR OLED display as well as smaller size and lighter weight. With that said, this is indeed the smallest iPhone which money can buy. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts about this smallest but impressive iPhone 12 mini. So I really hope you found this video helpful. If you did, then please give this video a thumbs up. It really means a lot. Also follow me on my other social media network for early preview to upcoming videos and free giveaways. Links are in the description of all my videos. Thanks so much for watching and take care. I'll catch you guys in the next one.